Welcome to the Beyond the Years podcast, a podcast about all things Disney.
You're listening to episode 25. Today, we're going to be talking about our top 10 favorite things at Disney's Magic Kingdom, which is so exciting. I don't know. Where does this park rate on your list?
It's definitely not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know what my least favorite would be, honestly.
I feel like this and Epcot are probably, it's hard for me to choose, but I think it's just so iconic with the castle. So we wanted to start this kind of series of doing our top 10 favorite things at each park with Magic Kingdom because it just feels right.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think, where would it rank? I guess it probably would rank low. I mean, there's only 4 parks, so.
Okay. What updates do we want to do for them before we get started with our countdown?
So I'm still pretty hype about all the announcements at San Diego Comic-Con last week. You just drank that really weird.
What do you mean? I'm trying not to be close to the microphone because I think that would be really weird to hear someone like drinking on a podcast.
That was funny though. I can't even explain it. It just looked like she was leaning back in a chair, like she's kicking back in a recliner.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
But yeah, so I'm still super hyped about all the announcements we've got at San Diego Comic-Con.
She-Hulk is coming up in a couple of weeks.
I know, and
we're so excited.
I'm so excited about that show. I keep watching the trailer, and I'm like, this show is going to be so freaking good. Mm-hmm. And the cameos in this show are going to be great.
Yeah, this podcast has really like kind of changed our lives already. Wouldn't you say? Like, we're really honed in on like Marvel and Disney, obviously, because it's a Disney podcast. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if we've said this on the podcast. We have comic book coasters. Mm-hmm. And we've done it for like 5 years. Off and on, and we've really just sold them at like craft shows for the most part. Mm-hmm. And we've kind of refocused on doing that now with this podcast. Has gotten us more excited about that kind of thing. And we've got some craft shows lined up for this fall, and so we're kind of getting back into making them, which is fun. But I feel like we've kind of taken a turn towards this as opposed to like more other things.
Yeah, I agree. We also got our business license, so.
Yeah, so we officially got our business license for Comic Corp Creations, and we have an LLC and everything, tax ID number. Just opens up more possibilities if we want to do a certain show that requires that. Obviously, we'll have it ready to go. So, and it also just gives us more freedom to take it one step further if we decide to do that and like create an online marketplace. But anyway, that's exciting.
Maybe if we have a website for the podcast, we can sell Disney or Marvel specific coasters on there.
Sky's the limit. Honestly, it's all about just time commitments.
So let's go ahead and get started into this top 10.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. We have not seen each other's lists. Also, just want to put out there, like, it has been 4 years, I think. 4 years since 2018.
Well, I guess 4 years, yeah.
Yeah. It's been 4 years since we've gone to the parks. So they have obviously, built new rides and attractions, new restaurants. The restaurants are constantly changing their menus. So, if you're looking for like a really professional, like this is absolutely what you should do, this is probably not going to be our podcast, but I still think we have a lot of I have a lot of great suggestions on my list of things that you should do. But,
mine are pretty basic because I've only been once. Mm-hmm. And it was 4 years ago now at this point, and I kind of had to go online to refresh my memory about some things. But, I mean, I still have good input on what I'm going to say. However, like she said, it's been a while.
Okay.
And there's a lot of new crap down there. So
Yeah. Okay. So mine are in no specific order. Yours are probably going to be the same way. I kind of just jotted down things.
I have 10 to 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang it. Mine are not in a specific order.
Okay.
But I feel like as I got later down on the list, I cared a little bit less about them. And then I also have some honorable mentions.
Okay. Well,
and I cheated a little bit on a couple of them and grouped two things together. Actually,
I have that as well. So
I kind of was just picturing like walking into the park, and that's how I started my list. So my number one, or one of my 10 favorite things about Magic Kingdom, is Main Street USA and the castle view.
That's my number 10.
Aw.
Is Main Street leading up to the castle.
Yeah, it's so magical and just special. And I love how Main Street has like actual real shops. Mm-hmm. Like that is so fun. They've got a bakery. They've got their Starbucks there. They've got like all of the shops that you can go and buy merch from. And it's just the most iconic view of the castle. So that's...
I like the fixed perspective of how... Was it the buildings look taller as they go down or shorter as they go down?
Yeah, I think it's shorter as you first enter, and then they get taller like as you like go into it. Mm-hmm. I wasn't even thinking about that. It's just that's true.
I mean, kind of my thing is like the design of how like stuff flows and how it looks. Mm-hmm. So
Disney is they just think about everything, and just having like how they do like the smell-o-vision sometimes when they've got like a certain thing going on, or like,
I like the bakery, how they puff the smoke out, or not smoke, but the smell out into from the bakery.
Yeah, and how they have like an entire, like most of the park is actually built on a second story, and underneath is like this whole tunnel system for the cast members to walk around and get from point A to point B, so it doesn't ruin the magic for the guests if they see someone from Frontierland over in like the Beauty and the Beast area. Like it would just be weird. Mm-hmm. But they just think about everything. So
I totally forgot about that until you just said that.
I know.
I was like, oh yeah, I forgot.
I bring it up anytime I can in conversation, just so I can talk about it.
Is it like that at every park?
Oh, that's a good question. I know it's at Magic Kingdom, but I have never thought about if it's at every park. I think it's just Magic Kingdom. I will look into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So anything else you want to say about that one?
Not really. It's just magic.
Okay.
I think it has to be on everyone's list. Just that first.
Because that's the first thing you see when you walk in, right?
Yeah. And that's the same way at like all of the parks for the most part, is they have their kind of iconic thing right when you first walk in.
Okay. Well, so this one is going to be one of the ones that I've got like lumped up into like a bundle.
Okay.
But I put food.
Okay.
I.e. Friar's Nook tater tots, Sleepy Hollow waffles, Dole Whip, stuff like that.
Okay. Interesting. I tried to put down specific restaurants because I feel like it's so overwhelming when you're trying to figure out what to eat and like what's the best and what's not the best. And I feel like when we went before, we tried to do a lot of restaurants inside the resorts. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't eat as much in the parks, Yeah. And because we didn't.
Well, and also, I mean, you're coming from childhood trauma of your mom saying everyone has to eat off of the same burger and we're going to split it into 8 pieces.
No, well, kind of. So we, for the most part, when I went with my family, for the most part, we either all got a kid's meal, which is like you have no choices. It's like a cardboard burger or chicken fingers. So we either got a kid's meal for the most part, or like we would split meals together, which is sad. And so that's not how I will be with our children. My parents, did what they had to or what they thought they had to. But anyway, yeah. So that was my childhood Disney experience. Was splitting my burgers with my sister. anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Just
you said we ate at the resorts where you guys ate in the parks.
Yeah, and also I think part of the reason why you and I ate more at the resorts was because we wanted to like get refreshed and cleaned up and not be like so hot and sticky and sweaty before we ate like a big meal.
Well, and most of the time it was dinner.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
Mainly when we're off campus or off like the main park.
Yeah.
It was because we were going to like the Grand Floridian, Citricos, or Boma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boma.
Yeah.
And we had another one. Oh, I guess the French Corridor. We were at Epcot, which we didn't clean up for that one.
Yeah.
Because we were just at Epcot.
Mm-hmm. But there's so much food. So I did try to narrow it down to a couple of specific restaurants. But also next time we go to Disney, whenever that may be, we'll definitely have to kind of hone in and plan the restaurants more specifically so that we can talk about it on the podcast.
We did go and eat at Hollywood Studios, the little rat pizza.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what it was called, but it was really good too.
Mm-hmm. Dang, what was that?
It was a Muppet.
No, I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember.
I just remember.
Yeah, and it
mouse.
wasn't very busy. They had an entire like upstairs area.
Yeah, that's where we ate.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, super nice.
Moving on. So you just talked about food in general.
Okay,
I will break it down.
Okay, I'm gonna go with my list so you can kind of like
Cross them off.
Well, no, just bounce off like where I'm coming from.
Okay.
So this was another one I kind of lumped in like with like dining experiences. So I put character/dining experiences, i.e. like Cinderella's royal table, the Beauty and the Beast feast or whatever it's called.
Be Our Guest restaurant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just the other like little taverns where there's actual like character interactions at the places, not just like, hey, this is a place that you can get food kind of thing.
I
also oh sorry
no, go ahead.
Also, I was gonna say just like seeing like Mickey and Minnie and like Goofy and Pluto and like all the characters walking around, like getting pictures with them. So I kind of like lumped that into like one kind of group, just because I mean it kind of goes with food, but like when you get to see all the characters, it's really fun too.
Yeah, I'm more of an introvert, so that's not as exciting for me. When we ate at the oh my god, Tusker House at Animal Kingdom, it was a character dining experience, and it was good. Like they can kind of tell like when you're like, nah, I don't really need a hug.
Yeah, I took a picture with what
Goofy
and
Safari
Donald,
Goofy, yeah,
Safari.
It's
Donald.
different now that we have a child. Like I would definitely want to do the character dining, because he would love it. But like as an adult, I'm more of an introvert, so I don't think that would be. It's not really my cup of tea. But I agree. If you
Get
have
away from me, Pluto.
Yeah, if you have children, it's fun. Okay, what else is on your list, or do you want me to do one?
Okay. Well, I said character experiences. Now you would go with your next something similar to that, or just whatever.
Gotcha. So I put this at number 9. Like I said, it's not really in any specific order. The character cavalcades, which replace the parades. So they used to do a specific parade at a specific time of day, but COVID kind of changed everything, and now they just do cavalcades, which is similar. So I wrote down the cavalcades and the fireworks show at the end of the night as one. I know that's cheating, but to me it was kind of a similar category. It's really great. Just to be able to, stand in one spot and get a show for a few minutes it's really fun. And it's just really magical. I think it's just like classic Disney to have like the parades going on. And they always do such a great job with all of the characters. They're always really enthusiastic, obviously. The floats are cool. So I think that if you are at Disney, you probably should see, the parades.
Okay. I don't have any of the parades or anything like that because I kind of totally forgot about those. And we didn't really watch them except like once. And we were like not really watching it. We were just going through like it just happened to be going on while we were going to like Big Thunder Mountain or something like that.
Yeah, so I personally have gotten to experience the parades when I went on a trip previously without you.
Yeah.
So where like we also happened, I think we ate at when I went with my sister and a couple of friends, we ate at Liberty Tree Tavern, and then we walked out and the parade had just started. And so we stood over there on the corner and we watched the whole parade, and it was super freaking hot. But it was so magical.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, so my number 7 is Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise did not make my list at all. But I think it's obviously a park icon. Yeah. Just a very classic. I think you should ride it if you can at least once. But if I'm going to Disney World, to Magic Kingdom specifically, I would like to ride pretty much everything. But if I can only do 10 things, it's probably not going to be on my list.
Okay. Well, it's on my list, so you're stuck doing it now.
I mean, I'm not going to argue it. Everything at Disney is fun. Regardless of what it is. It's fun at Disney.
Well, I put it on there because, one, I love the Jungle Cruise movie. Mm-hmm. So, like, that kind of put it in its favor a little bit. And also, I was looking at pictures, and I was like, oh, man. Like, It was pretty, like, I think that it really helps if you got, like, a good...
skipper.
Yeah.
Well, also, they've updated it a little bit. So, maybe it's a little bit different where I'm just scared of boats.
Yeah, but it's like 2 feet of water.
It doesn't matter.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, yeah, that's so much in my number 7. I thought it was fun. Our skipper wasn't very good though. However, it was a good time. And like I said, the Jungle Cruise movie makes me more excited because it was that whole Jungle Cruise scene in the beginning with The Rock where it's like, yes, this is one of the 7 wonders of the world, or the 8th wonder of the world. And it's like the back of a waterfall.
Heck yeah.
So
speaking of that movie, because that movie 100% blew me away as far as my expectations. I had like basically no expectations for it because The Rock is in so many different things and he always plays like a very similar character. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I don't really care about The Rock anymore. And so I thought this movie was going to be kind of crappy. And then I watched it and I freaking love it. Yeah. Obsessed. We need to do a podcast of like our top 10 or top 15 Disney, like non-animated. Oh yeah. Live action. Oh, perfect. That would definitely make my list for sure.
Okay. I love the movie just because of Emily Blunt, or Emily Krasinski, whatever you want to call her. Emily Blunt, I guess. And Jack Whitehall, her brother. Mm-hmm. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's also in the Clifford movie, which is not a good movie at all. I noticed that. But he is funny in that movie. So, but yeah, Jack Whitehall is really funny. And I love Emily Blunt, so.
Okay. Can I do one on my list?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Hold on, before you say it.
What?
Is it in Tomorrowland?
I was trying to decide which one I wanted to choose from on my list.
Okay, well, is it in Tomorrowland?
Well, yeah, I have 2 from Tomorrowland.
Oh, damn. Okay.
You go ahead and say yours. We can talk about it.
Okay, I said my number 6 is Peoplemover.
Peoplemover is high on my list as well.
Okay.
Oh, I don't care who you are. You have to ride the Peoplemover. It is just, there is nothing better when it's 90 degrees out, super humid. You've been walking around for 4 hours or 5 hours or 12 hours at this point, and you're just worn out. You're sticky and you're sweaty. There's nothing better than sitting on the Peoplemover and just relaxing for, I don't even know how long it is. It is amazing. And you can eat snacks. Like, pack some snacks in your bag, get some water, and just chill for however long the ride is. But it kind of takes you throughout Tomorrowland, and you get to see like the inside of a couple of the different rides, which is so fun. Yeah, I love
the Buzz Lightyear,
Space Ranger Spin and Space Mountain. I love like how like getting to see the inner workings of different things. So to me, that's super fun.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like, it's not so slow that you're bored. It's fast enough to be a little bit thrilling, but not like scary for kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I just like it's chill.
Mm-hmm.
It's very like,
and there's
take a breather from trying to run from Seven Dwarfs Mine Train all the way to the next Fast Pass or Genie.
And there's very rarely going to be like a long wait. So it's something that most of the time you can just kind of hop on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what were you were you kind of going to go with that, or are you going to talk about something else?
Let's go ahead and move on to Space Mountain, because it had to be on my top 10.
Okay, that didn't make my list.
I didn't think it would make your list. I don't know why you don't like this ride. It is so fun.
Yeah.
Everything from like the outdoor design of the ride to the queue line to the ride vehicles to the actual ride itself and after the ride, I love it.
Maybe it's just a ride that I don't really remember that well, because I remember waiting in line, but I don't remember any of the queue. I remember walking up to it because it's like a big dome.
Yeah.
Beyond that, like, no recollection of the ride. I do remember riding it, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, let's do that again. That was fun. It wasn't like, now, Rock and Roller Coaster, same kind of ride, but on more of like a bigger coaster, but in the dark and like,
yeah,
that's fun. But that's more memorable to me than like, hop on this little Tinker Toy spaceship thing and ride this ride. Maybe in the 70s it would have been fun when that was like the biggest thing there.
I love it. I mean, it's nostalgic. I just love how it's an entire, just start to finish, it's an entire experience. Like I said, looking at it outside, it's very exciting. And then when you walk in, the queue is good. It's got space themed games throughout, like the queue as you're walking. The queue, once you get up towards the ride, is not as good, but at that point you're so excited that you're about to get on, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
The ride vehicle, like I've talked about in previous podcasts, I love that it's single file. That's super fun. Makes it a little bit kind of scary too, which adds to the thrill. The ride itself is a little bit jerky and not like super duper thrilling, but it's just nostalgic to me. And then when you get off the ride, I just like everything about it. So
okay. So my number 5 is Splash Mountain. Now it's gonna be Tiana's Mountain.
Bayou Adventure. Yeah. Okay. Splash Mountain made it to my list as well.
Cool.
Yeah. It's go ahead and talk about it.
It's a long ride.
I could talk about it forever, honestly.
That's a super long ride.
I think it's like 11 minutes.
It's fun. It's entertaining. It was like a classic, a Disney classic, I thought. And yeah, it's just, I like that you get wet, but you're not soaked kind of water ride. Yeah. And there's a couple drops, which I know you're a big drop fan. So that's fun. And I think what is it going to be? The Bayou?
I think it's Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but I'm not 100% sure on the name. They announced the name, but I don't think it was like completely set in stone. I'm not sure. Well,
anyway, I think after watching the movie a couple times now, because we watched it here recently at a resort that we went to, and then a couple weeks ago we watched it.
It'll be a good fit.
Yeah. And
Easy transition.
Yeah, and I'm super excited because I thought the movie was super cute. And they could do something really cool with like the Louisiana Bayou kind of landscape and all that.
Yeah, when was it? I think it's supposed to start or open in 2024.
I believe so. I think it's mid or end of 2024.
Since it's a water ride, they'll probably close it down like in January to do the refurb when it's like colder. And that's what they typically do when they do, because they do yearly maintenance on Splash Mountain, I believe. Yeah. In January, but that's neither here nor there. I agree with you. If you go to Magic Kingdom, you definitely need to ride Splash Mountain. What I would recommend is
Bringing extra pair of shoes or socks.
Well, what I'd recommend, and this goes beyond just like the ride itself, go in the middle of the day when you are dying from heat and you're all sweaty and gross. Go in the middle of the day as the last kind of morning ride, and then go back to your resort and clean up, take a nap, take a chill pill, whatever, go swimming. But don't do it first thing in the morning when you're not that hot. And then you're going to be soaking wet for the rest of your day with squishy shoes, and your thighs are going to be rubbing together and chafing. So I'd recommend doing that right before you kind of take your midday break.
I agree. Yeah, but a fun ride. And
Definitely.
Long. Good ride to catch up on. Catch up some.
It's just very relaxing because it's inside. It's cooler because you're surrounded by the water. So it's like a good relaxing,
ASMR.
I don't know about that. I mean, depends on who you are, but it's a nice way to cool off.
Okay. I'm assuming this one did not make your list. So number 4 for me is Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's on my honorable mentions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love that ride.
I do too. It sucks because I wanted to add a couple of food things to this list because I want it to be a well-rounded list for someone. Like, if they're going to listen to my list and do my list, I want it to not just be rides. So,
well, the last 4 things on my list, well, 3 things, I guess, are rides. So
I have 2.
Sorry, people that are expecting a well-rounded list like Ashley.
I have, I have two restaurants, and then 1 show, and then the couple things we talked about, the Main Street USA, and then the cavalcades. But I agree with you. Pirates is a good ride.
Okay. I love the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I love all of them. Even the ones that aren't as good as like the original. And I still love them.
The movies were based on the ride.
Yeah, I know.
Which is so cool. Yeah. I just want everyone to know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
I would think it'd be so cool if Johnny Depp actually showed up as Jack Sparrow.
He did in California.
I know.
Several times.
Yeah, I've watched many videos of that. But it's so cool because he obviously is like, he is Jack Sparrow kind of thing. Like Tony Stark and Iron Man is Robert Downey Jr.
Freaking, I love Disney, but they really fucked up with that, with Johnny Depp. I hate that.
Money talks. He'll be back. I guarantee it.
I don't know. We're obviously team Johnny Depp, but I don't know. I mean, he said that he wasn't gonna go back.
I don't believe that.
He
money talks.
He's got lots of money.
Yeah, but money talks.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel. Like, I don't know if I want him to give in and do it, or if I want him to like hold to his guns.
We'll rewatch him, and you'll be like, oh, if he doesn't do another movie, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your thing?
We are gonna go with the Be Our Guest restaurant.
Okay. Which
is in New Fantasyland, the Beast Castle. We went for breakfast, which we've talked about before. Highly recommend breakfast. I believe the dinner is now signature dining, which means it's super ridiculously expensive. Our breakfast was really good.
And we got 2.
Yes, we did. I would recommend going at breakfast time because I thought it was good. I've also gone at lunchtime. It was good, but I think the breakfast was better. So, and I mean, totally immersive experience.
Yeah, if we go again, it'll be for breakfast for sure.
Yeah,
because breakfast is just a good meal to start with at the parks too. Yes,
I'm a big breakfast person. Like, I got to eat breakfast every day, and I love a good hearty breakfast to get me going. So,
and like I said, we got 2 because they had a fire issue in the kitchen, and we all had to exit the building, and then we got back in the building. We got new food.
Yeah,
it was great.
Okay. Do you want me to do another one?
Yeah, you can do yours, and then I'll do mine.
Okay. I guess I'm not going in any particular order, but
I'm going in order, so.
I've got Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid, which is in New Fantasyland. It's kind of a dark track ride. You're in a clamshell. I just love those style of rides.
Okay.
Super fun. And more so because
Similar
we have
to
a
the
child.
Nemo ride at Epcot.
It's basically the same thing, but I like the Little Mermaid one better.
Okay. I remember it because it was over there near the Beast Castle, right?
Mm-hmm. And the ride times are never like too terribly bad on this one. So love it.
I remember that kind of. It was fun. I have Seven Dwarves Mine Train.
That's the next one on my list as well.
Okay. Well, we'll kind of do a double hitter
Okay.
then. I'll talk about it and then you can talk about it. The animatronics on that ride are super fun. I was never a huge Snow White fan growing up, but I always loved the Seven Dwarves, so I thought it's fitting that they got their own ride because they're just really funny characters if you really think about it. Mm-hmm. Just all the
I agree.
different personalities, I think, is what makes it. And the ride is super smooth. It's got a lot of like drops, or like not drops, but it's got a lot of like ooh, like moments.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
nothing crazy, but it's got a lot of fun moments. And yeah, I just love, especially whenever you're going up the main part where they're coming out of the mine, and it's like they're all singing. It's like, oh right, like you really get like to going, like feeling the magic, if you will.
Yeah, I agree. I was never a huge Snow White fan either growing up. I don't know if we ever watched the movie, to be honest with you. I've seen it since my childhood, but I never really watched it a lot growing up.
We watched it a lot growing up, but it was like because it was movies that we had, kind of thing. I wasn't spoiled like you as a child.
Okay. Everyone is spoiled in different ways. We don't need to go there, but I agree. It's one of those rides that is super hyped up, but totally worth the hype. There are a lot of Disney rides that are really hyped up and they're not worth it, but this one always has a super long wait time. So definitely rope drop it, get one of the Genie Plus Lightning Lane, I don't know, things for it. I think it's worth to pay extra to kind of pass the line on this one. Like Josh said, it's a super smooth ride. The animatronics are fantastic. That's thrilling enough to keep you entertained.
Yeah, it's pretty magical. Like with the rubies and stuff on the wall, how they've got it designed to look like an actual cave.
It's very whimsy, like Disney should be.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Great ride. Next one on my list, since that was yours, but also on my list, is Mickey's PhilharMagic.
I don't think we went to this.
Yes, we did. It was a little 3D show in a theater, kind of behind the castle. And we had these little, I think they were like yellow 3D glasses. And it was Mickey and his friends doing a show, obviously, with all of the different instruments.
See, I don't remember that at all.
We went because I remember being there with you specifically. It's a really great show. I wanted to include a show on here because we're not huge show people. But I feel like everyone should do a show at every park. And I don't like the Enchanted Tiki Room. I think it's kind of boring at Magic Kingdom. So this one I really like. There's other shows at Magic Kingdom, but this is, I thought, the best one for everybody. Short enough for the little kids, but like long enough to keep everyone else like occupied and entertained for a little while.
Okay. See, I remember going to the Muppets thing.
Yeah.
At Hollywood Studios, because that's when we ate the pizza after it. I can't remember what it was called though, but that's what we did.
I'll have to show you a video or something.
Okay. This is a tough one because I think I'm gonna have to switch here, but my number 2 would be Buzz Lightyear's Ranger Spin Ride.
That made my honorable mentions list.
Lame. I made it my number 2 because of Grayson.
Yeah, I mean,
in honor of my baby.
We love Buzz Lightyear. It's a really great ride. If you can do it, you definitely should.
Yeah, I love the ride. It was super fun. It was like, what is it, Midway Mania?
Yeah, where you shoot.
Yeah, So, obviously I love Buzz Lightyear. And yeah, it's just super fun. And it's in Tomorrowland, which I kind of think makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I love Tomorrowland.
Mm-hmm.
There's just, and they're doing some updates because it's Tomorrowland, so it needs to be like constantly updated to stay, relevant.
Well, and that was my biggest gripe whenever we went to Tomorrowland. I was like, man, this doesn't feel like very Tomorrowland to me.
Yeah.
Maybe if would have felt like Tomorrowland in the 70s, but
Yeah.
it was a little dated
So
in spots.
they're adding Tron
Yeah,
to
that'll be fun.
Tomorrowland, and there used to be a ride called Stitch's Great Escape, which was kind of more of like a show ride experience. It wasn't
that
really.
the laugh floor now?
No, that was there as well.
But it's not there
Next
anymore.
to I think it's still there.
Oh.
It was closed for a while because of COVID, but I think it's open now.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, they closed the Stitch's Great Escape ride because it makes sense. I mean, it wasn't that great. You were kind of strapped in, and it had like the smell-o-vision thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really remember that much about it except it wasn't that great. Because it was kind of promoted to be more of like a ride experience. It was more of like a show.
Okay.
But they're gonna redo that to something else. So that has an
Is that Wreck-It
opportunity.
Ralph?
I don't know.
I thought it was.
Is it?
I thought that's what they had talked about.
I'm not sure. I
Okay.
haven't looked up this stuff in a minute, so.
Well, regardless, yeah, Buzz, good ride, fun ride. Like if you like Toy Story and Buzz Lightyear, you got to ride this ride at Tomorrowland.
Yeah, or any shooting ride or track ride or dark ride. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, and it's one of the ones too that has like a decently wait time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the wait time I would say is maxed out at like an hour or so. It's not typically longer than that. It usually hovers between like 30 and 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Disney, of course, right now is much busier than it normally is. But if you're planning a trip for like next year or the year after, wait times are pretty good.
Yeah. What did you call that? Revenge?
Yeah, revenge travel.
Yeah.
People are doing revenge travel because they didn't get a travel in 2020, 2021. And also people are just throwing caution to the wind, I think, with their money and just like, screw it. We're all kind of screwed anyway, so we might as well have fun while we're being screwed. So, which I don't necessarily disagree with. We've been, tossing up the idea of going to Disney, and we don't have an extra $4,000 just, sitting around the house. So
Get a Disney credit card and put on the Disney credit card.
I think that's what people are doing. But anyway, okay. So
I'll be on my number one. So if you got to catch up a little bit.
no, I'm on, ironically, my number 10, which again, my list is not in any specific order. I put the Liberty Tree Tavern on there. So you did not get to go to this. But I went with my sister and our friends when we went in 2016, I think it was 2016. It's just an iconic Disney food experience. They have very like Thanksgiving-y type of food there. So you can get like a platter meal with like turkey and mashed potatoes and green beans. It's a very hearty meal, but I remember it being pretty good, and it's a fun experience. It kind of doesn't feel like Disney though. Like it's very like old, like kind of old America. You know what I mean? Like everyone's kind of dressed up.
I mean, Silver Dollar City-esque.
Yes, I was going to say that, but I can't say with like that word is hard for me to say.
Silver Dollar City?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You know me. I can't really say that. So I was trying to think of a way to like get around it.
That park that's in Branson, Missouri.
Silver Dollar City.
Yeah.
I have to really focus. I don't know why.
She normally sounds like she has a brain fart.
I usually
Silver Slaller Slitty. Silver Slitty
I
Dollar.
usually, when we're talking about it, I usually try to like
not talk
plan
about
the
it.
conversation to where someone else has to say it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it's very similar to that if you've ever been there.
Okay.
Just like the theming of it, but it's really good. Definitely more of like a heavy meal, like I said. So if you're gonna, maybe and I'm trying to think of how I would plan this out. Definitely, like, you don't want to go ride Space Mountain right after you eat here. It's a very, like, maybe
it's
go
a dinner meal
or like a late afternoon where you can go, like, you can eat and then go take a nap, because you're probably going to want to take a nap after eating here.
Yeah.
Or you can walk it off, whatever your preference is. Sometimes it's better to like eat and then walk, but just think about it. Don't eat here and then plan a really crazy ride.
Mission Space.
Because you might throw up. Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Okay. My number 1, the palace fireworks at the end of the night.
Okay, I kind of included that with the cavalcades.
Yeah, I know.
But I agree, you should do it for sure. It's a magical show.
Yeah, super fun. And I like how it's like behind the castle or happening around the castle. So that's my number 1.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good way to end the night. But however, if you end the night at the park, good luck getting back to your resort.
Oh, yeah.
The night we went to Magic Kingdom and ended at Magic Kingdom, that was a 2-hour ride back to the resort because we sat and we waited and waited for the bus so many times, and we were at Pop Century,
yeah. So
and it's the furthest one away from Magic Kingdom,
okay,
right?
So buckle your seatbelts. I'm about to go on a tangent.
Okay.
So with he's like leaning back in his chair. So one thing I realized when we went on our trip, which I didn't know, and this is not advertised, but this is the way it is. If you're at a value resort, you're going to have to walk longer to get to the bus station at Disney Springs, at Animal Kingdom, at any of the parks. Mm-hmm. So when you're going back and you're walking to where the buses pick people up, the value resorts are going to be the furthest away. You're going to have to walk even longer, which sucks. I remember specifically the night that you're talking about.
Slums.
After you've been at the parks for 12 or 14 hours, even if you've taken a break during the middle of the day, maybe it's your 4th day there, you are exhausted. Your feet are killing you. You're hot. You're sweaty. You're probably hungry again at this point. Everyone's kind of irritable. And then you have to walk to get to your bus. And then I remember Disney Springs was really bad. There was one night I think we had to wait for was it Disney Springs or Animal Kingdom? I don't know.
No, it was definitely Magic Kingdom or Disney Springs, because we never had a wait time at Animal Kingdom.
I don't know, but if you have a value resort, just think about that, because you're going to have to walk longer. I would say definitely watch the fireworks show, but maybe kind of think about not being right at the base of the castle, because there's an entire crowd of people who are going to get to the buses before you. They do a great job of trying to consistently run the buses, but there's only so much they can do when there's thousands upon thousands of people trying to get on the buses. Mm-hmm. So I would say just think about that when you're going to watch the fireworks show at the end of the night at any of the parks, really.
Yeah. Yeah. That's,
sucks.
It sucks.
It sucks. Well, when you've had such a long
Next time
day.
we'll just freaking Uber. I would rather pay if it's that late at night, because there are so many Ubers around there anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely something to think about. And I feel I'm trying to differentiate in my brain, because it's been 4 years. That one specific experience we had, I feel like it was at Animal Kingdom.
No, trust me, it was at Magic Kingdom at the end of the night.
You might be right. I know
I'm right.
Okay. Well, regardless of which park, kind of sucks.
We waited a while at Animal Kingdom Lodge at Boma to get back on the bus to go to Pop Century after we ate at Boma. Yeah.
Also, they do have the Skyliner now, which goes to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So that probably helps with the wait times for the value resorts.
Oh yeah. Just go from one park to the next and then go or get on the...
Yeah, but that doesn't help Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. And Disney Springs is weird too, but that's a really crazy tangent. just want everyone to be prepared at the end of the night. If you stay for the fireworks show, just think about, when the show is over, what that's going to be like for you.
Chaos. It's because everyone's leaving the park.
Yeah, because they're closed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so good luck. Note to self, don't go to the Valley Resort because
I still want to stay. Resort. I really want to stay at Art of Animation. I just love it.
Yeah, but
we're dreaming now. Okay.
Yeah.
What else you got?
That's it.
I have a couple of honorable mentions I want to talk about. So we already talked about Pirates of the Caribbean on your list. Haunted Mansion is definitely not on my list, but the attention to detail of the building itself, the queue line, and the whole ride, the detail is amazing.
I agree with that.
It really is.
But I don't like the ride.
I'm a wimp, so I'm kind of scared about everything. Kind of scared of the dark, easily freaked out. But I think if you're not that way, this ride would be so much fun. It's really well done. And it's going to stand the test of time. So if you like that kind of thing, it's a dark track ride. It's very elaborate. I mean, everyone's dressed up, themed. It's just amazing.
Okay.
Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin was on my honorable mentions. And then I have 3 restaurants. So, 2 of them I've gone to and the other one I didn't get to try. So the 2 that I've gone to are the Pinocchio Village House, which is kind of over, like behind the castle, kind of by Haunted Mansion, kind of by It's a Small World.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the, like flatbread pizza things there with the blue slushies. Do you remember?
No, not at all.
I like the theming of it. The blue slushies are amazing. It's got like this really delicious like whipped cream on it. I got like it's a margarita pizza or something with like balsamic glaze on it with like tomatoes and mozzarella. Super good. But it's just a quick service. But I like the overall like the vibes of it. So if you're looking for like a nice, easy, quick service that's just got like your kind of basic Disney food, I think that's really fun. The Pecos Bill Cafe is like a Mexican food. Mm-hmm. So you've got your churros, you've got your tacos, like that kind of stuff. It's good because it's kind of a quick service. You order your food, you're going to get your food, and then you can put your toppings on by yourself. So there's like a toppings bar. And then I think they have indoor and outdoor seating. So I remember it being pretty good. Did we go there together or did I go with someone else? I think I went with someone else. I don't remember that at all. It's over in Frontierland. Yeah,
we definitely didn't eat Mexican food.
Yeah, I think I went with my sister and her friends. Anyway, it's really good, but everything's relative to like what you enjoy. Like I like Mexican food, so I'm probably going to like it. The last one is Casey's Corner. So this is a very traditional Magic Kingdom restaurant and they serve hot dogs. So apparently they're supposed to be like the best hot dogs in the world. I like hot dogs, so I don't know why I've not tried Casey's Corner, but we'll have to do it next time. Okay. They just have a variety of hot dogs. Kind of a quick, easy meal.
Gotcha.
That's all. That's all I've got.
That's all I've got.
That was so fun.
Yeah.
It just brings the magic back, getting to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go back.
Yeah, me too. We'll have to apply for a couple of Disney credit cards now.
Okay, what else you got? You want to talk about anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Episode 25 of the podcast.
Yep. Cranking
them out. We were cooking with fire at the beginning, and then we slowed down a little bit recently.
Yeah, we came out of the park swinging, for sure, because there was a lot. I mean, we're so excited, and we're just trying to pump out episodes so people had like a backlog to listen to. Mm-hmm. But now that we've kind of like figured out what we want and how we want to do the show And like we're kind of in like a lull period anyway because we don't have any Disney Plus shows coming out. That's like anything major. So we're kind of taking like this next couple of weeks to kind of like refresh ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and we've done a lot of Marvel content, so I was wanting to do a little bit more like Disney specific content, so with all the parks.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess that's it for today, everyone. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for your support. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment on whatever platform you are listening if you're able to do that. Definitely tell your friends about us. We're obviously still pretty new and we're looking to grow and expand. We're excited and we appreciate everyone, and just have a good rest of your day.
All right. Thanks, everyone.